Starting on our trip to Texas, I had been reassigned from Albany to Amarillo Air Force Base, Amarillo, Texas, and we all piled in the Packard one day and took off. And we're approaching right now the Pennsylvania border. We're approaching the state of Pennsylvania on our way to Texas. This is pretty much the kind of roads we had to travel. 2-lane highways until we got to St. Louis. After that, we had some super highways that were available to us. But this is pretty much what we looked at from Oswego to St. Louis. Now we're in Ohio. Well, this is a double-lane highway here for a stretch anyway in Ohio. Just think today you can go practically anywhere in this country and superhighway all the way. In those days, it was not the case. I believe this is Youngstown, Ohio, where these shots were taken. Now we've left Youngstown and we're heading west again. It's interesting to see the cars that are passing us. What was commonplace on the roads back in 1956. Any one of them would be a collector's item today, especially the one I'm driving, the 1953 Packard Caribbean. This road is taking us south in Ohio. I believe we're going down to pick up the Lincoln Highway, which I think is Route 44. But you'll notice here, if we don't go too fast, you'll see a sign that points to Pittsburgh. We're not too far from Pittsburgh here. I'm not sure exactly what that river is, whether that's the Ohio River that's on our left there or not, I'm not sure. Yeah, there's the sign for Pittsburgh. These are some sort of either drainage or irrigation ditches. If they're irrigation ditches, they don't seem to be doing much good, so I suspect they're a drainage ditch of some sort. The land looks pretty barren. Now we enter Indiana. And this particular community is Terre Haute. Appeared to be a very pleasant little community. Downtown Terre Haute. It always fascinates me now to see this film and look at the different types of cars that go by us, which are not seen anymore today. That Buick just pulled out in front of me. Lucky I didn't hit him. Just ahead of that Buick there to the right is one of those old Studebakers. You couldn't tell which way they were going. The front looked just like the back. There's a sign announcing some activity in town. We're back out on the road again, and we're coming up to the Illinois state line. Now we're in the state of Illinois, and we've gone south in Illinois. We're just outside St. Louis now. We're crossing the Mississippi River. It's one of the numerous bridges that cross the Mississippi. If I recall right, I think this was a toll bridge too. I think it cost us to go across here. Probably all of a dime, or maybe even a quarter. And we are now in the state of Missouri. Here is where we encountered superhighways, which made our trip through an otherwise dull state rather rapid. What you see right here is pretty much what you saw through the entire state of Missouri. There isn't much in the way of scenery. Thank goodness for the superhighway. McClary's Motel. How we had the camera ready. I believe we stopped and turned around and went back to get that shot. And we're now in Kansas. Eagle Picture Factory. Scenery gets more bleak the further west we go. This is Kansas. Lo and behold, I'm passing another car. Lo and behold, I'm passing another car. We are now entering the state of Oklahoma. Crossing over a bridge. Little did we know at this time that the day would come when I'd be stationed in Oklahoma also. We're going through the thriving community of Tulsa right now, right down the main drag. Big oil community. We have left our two-lane highway, as you can see. We're back on single roads again. There's an oil rig. Flat, level land of Oklahoma. There is a song about the Oklahoma Hills, but I don't recall ever seeing any. We're now in the state of Texas. Not far from our ultimate destination. You can see there's very little difference between Oklahoma and Texas. Here we are at the first house we rented in Amarillo. This is the backyard. We weren't there too long. There's Mike, Steve out in the backyard. There's my Packard in the carport. Now we're out at the base. It's one of the typical morning formations where the individuals assigned to my squadron on their way to school. This sort of thing happens every morning. They march off to school. Here they are coming down the street. The NCO in charge here is Herman Hartel, Staff Sergeant Hartel. Base band to furnish music for the marching as the troops go on to school. The band will pull off the road and form opposite the reviewing stand here and continue to play as the troops march by. Here comes our group, our squadron. I have no idea what the number was now. It's a second lieutenant there leading them. I forget what his name is. Salute to the reviewing stand. There's Corporal Scotty. He was from Scotland. Another group passing by. Every day an officer in the squadron, the officers in the squadron would take turns leading the troops to school. Here's a shot of the reviewing stand itself, the officer of the day, reviewing the troops. Now they're on their way back. This is in the evening, and they're coming back from school. That officer looks like a colonel. Where that dog came from, I don't know. Someone dropped a notebook, which is totally ignored. All of that work will be trampled on, never to be found again. You see the band opposite the reviewing stand playing. And now, this being a Friday, the squadron that made the best appearance during the week will receive a ribbon. All standard bearers from each squadron and the commanding officer salute the reviewing stand, the officer in the reviewing stand, and the winning squadron will come forward and receive their ribbon. The ribbon is attached to the guidon, and the individuals will return to ranks. And then march away to repeat the whole thing the following week.